You just wait and see.
Covered. Now this professor and sports business entrepreneur is about to take you to school. It's time for Dishing It Up with Dr. Stroman and the Sports Shop on Buzz Sports Radio.
D-Stroman.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Stroman.
Here y'all go. See? You just can't leave Pam alone.
Just can't.
Wait a
Just
minute.
can't. So I'm going to start the show off, good people, with some apologies from K-Mac and Errol.
What do we do?
Listen to your
What we
teacher.
do?
Listen
What
to
we
your
do?
professor.
Okay.
You want a quiz today, or you want to apologize?
Okay, I'm sorry, Pam.
I'm damn sure. Pam, I'm sorry for everything Reese did to you. me too.
Cray, cray.
Oh, I am up in Charlottesville, and I've been begging for snow, and snow comes in Charlottesville. Why not the Triangle?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yes,
keep it with
I'm
you.
up to do a presentation this morning, but I went to the men's game last night and saw the Cavaliers beat up on Virginia Tech, an important rivalry win. But, you know, the time of your conversation right before I joined, I want to talk about women's basketball. So this is so good to talk about equity and rights and
Nice.
how women have to continue to speak up for what we demand and what we deserve.
That's right.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay, so first off, hopefully people do pay attention to, we're talking about college basketball, men's and women's basketball. Here's a small one question quiz for you all. The ball size. Is the ball the same size for men's basketball and women's basketball, talking college? Is the ball the same?
No.
No.
Okay. Does anybody know the size difference?
That I don't know. I can't remember. I used to know it, of course, but I do not recall at this point.
Okay, it's about an inch smaller. It's about an inch smaller. And when I played way back during the cave days, there was no difference. So we were, pulling up with the big ball. Today's girls, young ladies, and boys get to play with a smaller ball, youth basketball for boys, which, of course, helps you develop the right shooting technique so you're not just trying to heave the ball at the goal. Another difference in college basketball is the three-point line difference. In men's game, is 22 feet, 1 3/4 inches away from the rim, and women's basketball is 20 feet, 9 inches away. And so I'm reminded of, staying on top of women's basketball because Caitlin Clark at Iowa is about to break Brittany Griner's record that she set at Baylor with the most points scored. It's just a tremendous feat. I'm not going to go to the NBA, although I will quickly say that LeBron James being the number one scorer, to me, that is a big, big achievement. So I'll be happy for Caitlin Clark if she does such. But I want to talk about the other equity issue in women's basketball, and that is the money. Women's basketball budgets are about 45% smaller than men's basketball budgets based on some recent financial data released. And we're talking about public schools because we know private schools don't have to release and generally don't release information, whether that's on the athletic side or the academic side. In the men's tournament, a conference receives one unit worth about $340,000 last year when a member school plays a game. Now, I'm not talking about the national championship game, but there is big value. It is important. That's why you see the emphasis, the pressure on coaches to make it to March Madness. That's where people get paid. South Carolina probably will be in the Final Four again this year, but as the reigning national champion and when they were the number one overall seed, they reported more than $9.5 million in women's basketball expenses, which is the most of any school. LSU with Kim Mulkey, they're approaching as well. But that football money from the SEC enables the Olympic sports at these schools, if they choose to spend it on their Olympic sports or, non-football men's basketball sports, you can really thrive. You can really build your program. So with that being said, I wanted to do a deeper dive on the ACC, but I want to pause right there and get your reflections and thoughts on the money being allocated to women's basketball and then just the differences in the game.
Well, first of all, is the women's basketball, considered revenue or non-revenue
That's a
in the
good
scheme
question.
of things?
That is a great question. In most schools, it's considered non-revenue.
Okay.
There's just a handful, and that even changes yearly
Okay.
in terms of whether or not they really make any money.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because that plays a lot to my reaction to that question. I didn't realize. I mean, $9 million.
Yeah, I didn't.
What did they spend? That's you said expenses, right? Expensive.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's
what?
salary.
Oh,
That's
okay.
salary, right?
Okay.
That's
okay.
equipment. How many? I remember
Travel.
when I played, we got one pair of shoes, maybe begged for two. Now the players probably get 4 or 5 pairs of shoes. Travel, the locker room,
Well,
right? All of that.
Here's the other question: is NIL part of that expense?
No, this is different.
Shouldn't be.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Stroman, I mean the fairness in the game, and it's because they're not competing against men or males, if you want to look at it that way. I think the differences in the game with the 3-point line maybe and some other things, I think those things make it a better game, right? I think they just do. They make it a better game. Why play with an oversized ball when it comes to women athletes, and when 99% of them, 99% of their hands are 75% the size of a male's hand. So why do that? That doesn't make much sense to do that. So I understand that part of the difference in the game. I guess the revenue part for me is always a little tricky. I just have a different perspective on college athletics and its revenue, non-revenue. I just think it should all be the same, and I think the universities or NCAA, whatever, is responsible for saying, look, you must have, these sports, and you must fund these sports, and here is the standard for each one of these sports that you must have, right? So, and this is what it takes to be competitive in, if you want to have these sports programs. And you guys go figure that out. Some schools have more money than others. That's fine. But the reality is, it's all the same. It's all in one bucket. No non-revenue. It's all sports, and it's all the school's responsibility to make sure that they manage and keep all of those sports active.
Well stated. So that means these leaders, and that means the chancellor, the president, and the athletic director have to want to be equitable.
That's
Right.
correct. Well, no. It should be a requirement that they be equitable, because it's just like if you run a Fortune 500 company, you got like 9, 12, 15 product lines, right? So you have to figure out how to spread that, revenue across your business and say, okay, do I just completely ignore this area of the business, because we don't want to do it, with the understanding that, by the way, because we have these areas that they don't make as much revenue, it also helps us in the marketplace to sell some of this other high revenue business.
Well, I don't think we're disagreeing. I'm just saying there's a choice.
Well,
Now with Title IX, right,
Okay.
it requires equity, but people don't follow because there isn't enough enforcement to go around and do all this checking until somebody blows the whistle.
Okay.
Well,
That's good. That's true.
I think one of the reasons for that is because if you, and I know this sounds crazy, if you want to blow the whistle, if you want to keep tabs on people, the best thing you can do is let everybody know, here's the rule, here's the standard. Not enough people know that that's the rule. Not enough people know that that is the law. Not enough people know that that is the standard. When everyone and anyone knows that that is the standard, I can assure you there will be people watching to make sure that you follow the law and the standard.
That's in an ideal world. I can speak for, anybody can just Google Title IX cases at universities, notwithstanding UNC Chapel Hill, right? So it happens all the time. Any institution that receives federal funding, whether it is the athletic department or the chemistry lab, is supposed to have equity. But we see it being broken, abused over and over and over again. And many times people won't blow the whistle because they're happy with the 3 pair of shoes that they get, because if it all gets exposed and the university wins the court case, or there's just a slap on the hand Well, now you're not getting 3 pairs. Now you're getting 1 pair.
Right.
Right? So they're kind of happy with, we better just continue and we're just going to do what we're going to do. Or we have coaches who are so happy to make it to big time that they were selected. The athletic director really likes them. I'm not going to say anything.
Well, this will be akin to it's probably really not a true comparison, but affirmative action, right? So,
absolutely.
There was a need for it. There was a reason for it. And because not enough people really paid attention to how it should be used or what it should be, how it should be executed, it actually ended up being, well, I guess we really don't need it.
Right.
Right. So, Dr. Stroman, I had a question for you. You were talking earlier about the difference in the ball size, and we know you're a baller, Hall of Fame baller. So when you look at the game now, and you reflect on all the different people that are breaking records, we talked about this with even Armando playing for a longer time. But how do you feel about that when you watch the game now, and the records are being broken, and you're like, but we played with a bigger ball, How does that make you feel? Or do you think it should have went in that direction?
It goes, thank you for that. I think it goes back to, it's hard to compare eras. It's hard to compare the style of when people played in the 50s versus the 80s versus the 2020s. I'm okay with it. There's no doubt I wish I would have played with a lighter ball.
Right.
I wish I would have played with a 3-point line. In many ways, when you think about what Oscar Robertson or Bill Russell would have been able to do, pass the ball into Bill Russell as opposed to him turning a drop stepping and dunking. Now he passes it out for Kuzi to make a 3, right? And Kuzi's wide open. So it's just a different game. I'm okay with it. I like the evolution of the game. I like the expansion of the paint so that there's more movement by the post players. I like that these post players, 6'8" and above, can actually run the court like when I played a 6'2" player. And so I like that movement. There are times, though, I miss the old game where you would just pound the ball into the post and watch them work. And clearly they would take more than 5 seconds, hanging out in the post.
That's right.
Making their move and everything. But that was fun because it's like, who can stop the big man, the big woman, right? It just wasn't happening. Today's game, there's very little opportunity for that type of game today. But I'm okay with the difference.
Gotcha.
We're talking with Dr. Deborah Stroman, addition with D. Stroll, same as we do each and every week. Having a great conversation about Title IX and revenue for I guess the Power 5 schools and all schools. But Dr. Stroman, what else you got for us?
Yeah, just also want to mention, the weight of the ball. It's about 2 ounces lighter, the women's ball as well.
Okay.
But the other thing is, let's talk a little ACC. So what I've been noticing is that the male coaches for the ACC are driving success. Jeff Waltz at Louisville, who's a great friend, he continues to just retool. His star guard, Van Lift, went to LSU for her 5th year, and he just retooled, leading the league. Wes Moore, what more can we say about him? Just dominating over at NC State. He's retooled, and his team is winning. Very, very powerful team. Hopefully we'll see them in the Final Four. And then Virginia Tech, which won the championship last year, Kenny Brooks. He's got his star power with Elizabeth Kitley, the post player there dominating, and Georgia Moore, who's a great, great shooter. So just wanted to ask your opinion about men coaches coaching young women, the pros and cons, and whether or not you all are okay with that. Or if all things being equal, would you rather have women coaching women?
That's an interesting question. I think you more capable of answering those questions given your space that you're in.
Right.
But I don't think it even matters from my vantage point. It doesn't seem like it makes a difference because you mentioned those 3 guys and they're doing unbelievable jobs.
That's right.
Louisville's been consistent. Hell, Connecticut has been consistent over the last 20 years with a male coach, and so. Yeah, Bayhard's doing pretty good in the Westmore. So I think it varies. To me, from my vantage point, I don't think it makes a difference. But I don't know that. I never played for. I'm not a female. I never played for a male, or that kind of thing. So, as a female, so maybe you can answer that question better than I could.
I don't think it really makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it makes a difference either. But I will say this: what I think that common thread, that common theme. Doesn't really matter if it's male or female. I think you need to have great leaders coaching people.
Right. It's got to be the right coach.
Yeah, that's right. It don't make a difference. But the gender doesn't.
Right. You got to have great
You
leaders.
have a bad woman coach.
Yeah.
And a bad man.
Yeah.
You know, because poor leaders make poor coaches.
Right.
Great leaders make great coaches, no matter what. You know what I mean?
Because Nick Saban say you want to keep people happy.
Oh God, here we go. He's not talking
Sell
about
ice cream.
football.
Well, I'll just to your point. We've had about 12 women coaches in the NBA, and we all know about Becky Hammon, who she was with the Spurs for so long, and now it's leading the WNBA Las Vegas Aces. But I'll just close out by saying, how much time do you give a coach to turn the program around? Courtney Banghart, in her 5th year at Carolina, has not won an ACC title. A lot of pressure on her. Some would say no pressure at all. But, she was brought there to win titles.
That's right.
Kara Lawson's over at Duke, 4th year, still has not won a title. Is it too early? Do we count in the COVID year for both coaches? And then, of course, Wes Moore over at NC State in his 11th year and still winning and winning and winning.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's a good observation.
Dr. Stroman, I live by a simple principle. It's all in fours, right? So, it's 4 corners, 4 foundations of life. It's all in fours. You give them 4 years.
I think that's ridiculous. I don't think you give them 4 years. No, what I'm saying is that 4 years to win a national championship.
Oh no! To be successful. Well, not
conference championship.
A conference. So, Dr. Stroman, she hasn't won the ACC championship yet.
Dang.
Is that what you said?
Excuse me?
She hasn't won ACC yet, right?
Neither coach has been close to getting the title in the tournament or the regular season.
How long did it take West Moore to win?
Duke, we're about titles.
Oh, really? Okay.
In the conference, though, you should be in the by your 4th year. You should be in the conversation.
I don't agree with that one.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yes.
If it was the men's basketball and they hadn't won in 4
you
years, what would you be saying?
Be
Is the
close.
women you're just kind of discounting? Oh, it's the women. I mean, she ain't won in 4 years. But if Hubert Davis don't have a chance,
well, I mean, I have to compare it to the
There you go.
revisionist history in terms of what's been the standard. I mean, has Carolina won ACC over the last every 4 years?
Basketball, yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Women's too, women's and men's.
So Carolina won ACC basketball.
I mean, Duke.
Hold on,
I mean,
no. Listen to what I'm saying.
All right, well, make sure it's title, but getting close to the title.
Okay,
These
no.
coaches
Has
haven't
Carolina
been-
won
haven't
ACC
been close.
championship in the last 4 years? Men's basketball.
No.
No. So you should. Well, it's been 2 different
I was
coaches.
gonna say.
But my point is, no, but that's the standard. That's what you guys are saying. It's not the standard because it doesn't happen every 4 years. So I think giving somebody a hard time, the women, Kara Lawson and of course Courtney, I think that's unfair.
So you're saying 5 years, 6 years?
I think 6 years is probably enough time. That's what I think. You had the COVID in there too. They had to adjust to all that.
Yeah.
So, because Courtney's won, she won at Princeton.
oh yeah, she
She's
came.
won
That
before.
was her first interview.
It
It's like I'm
it ain't
coming
like
off.
she's not a good
I
coach.
win 30 games.
Errol, I'm not saying she's not a good coach, but you cannot say Princeton is the ACC.
No, but she won in her conference.
Which the expectation is that you win in this conference.
Well, yeah, but I'm
And
thinking
8 years to do
I'm
it.
thinking
it's
4
probably-
years.
Okay, 4 years, 4 years, 6 years. I got you.
Well, call Bubba and tell her fire. Call Bubba and say fire. Because I think that's over the top.
You
If
can
we
ask
should-
a question, but you should ask a question.
If we
though.
should come back in here again in the studio and say, Pam, think you should fire.
I didn't say that because
Pam
that's
said
my
your
girl.
ass should be
that
gone.
was Dr. Stroman. I just asked
saying,
you the
'cause
question.
4 years is
'cause
long enough.
We're about being equitable, and I just want
I
to make
asked the
sure
question.
you would have the
Have
same
Carolina
thing
won the
with
ACC
the
championship
men.
the last 4 years?
Yeah,
No.
that's all.
No
That's
is
it.
the answer.
I heard it from Courtney Banghart's mouth, UNC head coach, after they lost to South Carolina. And, she said, they didn't bring me here to, fill up the arena and hand out popcorn
That's
and
right.
all that. I'm paraphrasing. The idea is they must win.
Yeah.
They must win. Carolina wins titles, gets close to titles, is in the finals. And she knows she's got to do something. And I'm sure Kara Lawson, with her competitive spirit, she wants to do the same.
Absolutely.
And, personally, these type of coaches, they don't want to be in a place where they can't win titles, right?
I mean, look.
You want to win.
We want to win.
there's a lot of things at the 4 year mark. There's a lot of things that have happened. One, you've been there for an entire quote-unquote academic cycle for most students from freshman to senior, right, graduating. You've had an opportunity to recruit. You've had an opportunity to get in the nowadays get in the transfer portal. You've had an opportunity to groom your coaching staff. You had an opportunity to do all of those things that quote unquote make you successful in the last 4 years. So if there's no light within 4 years of you getting any really getting better in going and winning the championship or going and being the title, being in the conversation between that and the quote unquote 6 year mark, you got to have a real conversation.
Yes.
That's the facts. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Dr. Stroman. It's all good. Dr. Stroman,
I totally disagree, but that is. I mean, it's like you come to the conference where you got Louisville. You talked about those guys. It ain't like she walking in. So you know what? That's interesting. So we use those same.
How long we gonna give Kenny Payne in Louisville right now?
But Kenny Payne, he's not even competitive. That's different. No, Carolina's been competitive. Kenny Payne, the hell, they 1-4 right now, 1-5. I mean, I think they won 2 games all last year. Come on,
so you're looking at the record versus if both programs, men's Louisville basketball, doesn't win a title, but they're rolling out the ball and they're competing, and maybe they start losing by the third quarter. That's the same as a women's program that wins sometimes better than Louisville men's basketball, but you're saying that's all equal because neither program has won a title.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, and I'm saying that.
Wow. Okay.
Please don't have me to coach for y'all because I don't have a chance.
You got
4
6 years.
4 to 6 years. You got to do
that's
something.
your chance.
I guess
you think about the salaries now.
Yeah.
Think about what they're being paid.
Well, fire them. Fire them. I say get rid of them right now because obviously, they're not doing they're not doing a damn thing. Get rid of them, fire them because you guys, y'all standards are tough. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm really surprised by this conversation.
How long has Coach Keats been at NC State? How long has Coach Keats been at NC State?
Had they won ACC championship?
No.
He's been at more than 4 years.
Okay,
right. Fire him.
And
He should get fired right now.
If he didn't win last year, he probably would have been.
Think about what we're saying.
He's in his 7th year.
Oh yeah,
he got to go. He ain't won ACC. Matter of fact, I didn't realize if you didn't win the ACC championship that your ass is done. I didn't realize that, but you guys have educated me this.
That's not
we're messing with you. There is no doubt that as long as they're developing young people, they're doing well in school, they're graduating, they're having a great experience. You don't have a lot of people transferring out. Let them stay. Let them stay.
Don't worry. This is Sports Shop. It's not the ACC. We good.
We're good. Oh yeah, because I know we good with sports. I ain't worried about that.
Go Duke, go Chapel Hill, go State.
But Coach Lawson, look out.
All right, Dr. Stroman.
You make me fine for the end of the day.
We appreciate you, Dr. Stroman, as always.
Get these guys.
We got to get out of here.
Have a good one.
You
Bye-bye.
too. He done got all hot. He bothered him.
No, because it's winning the ACC championship. It's the standard. Fire all of them.
And he the first one to fire somebody.
Exactly. I see him fire more people before they even get started.
He fired somebody yesterday.
Yeah, but the standard. I mean, the rules you guys are implementing in terms of the reason for firing somebody. I'm not sure about that. You got to win ACC championship, okay?
Well, I don't believe in the championship part, but I do believe you got to be competitive. But I do believe you got to be competitive. Like, it's nothing. So here's the difference. Coach Keats, where he is and what the program is doing, I get it. They may not be where they want to be, but I still don't think they're where they need to be, where they got to make a change like that. Mm-hmm. My homeboy Kenny Payne, although I love him dearly, you got to do something. Because nobody's buying the product that you're selling right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's got to change.
But he inherited that, so you got to give him some time.
Which is why I always give you four seasons, right?
Yeah.
So 4 seasons give you an opportunity to do what you said you needed to do for this to be successful. Mm-hmm. Meaning whether it be your staff, your type of player, blah, blah, blah. My type of guy, whatever it is that you need, you get an opportunity to do that. But you can't keep putting that kind of product out there on the court. That's all. And if you win an ACC championship, you're good. You should be. But hell, I know people get fired if they win the ACC championship. So that don't make no difference. What you got, A-Town?